Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're in class today. And we're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. And today we're going to be talking about a really bad situation that happened to a really nice family. We're going to be talking about what happens when 911 is called and the cops show up. And they bring their guns, their AR-15s, and they aim them at your chest. And we're going to talk about what happens when they call for backup. And then you get arrested. Now, first you get slammed down on the hood of a car, then you get arrested. Then you spend a couple weeks in jail. And you lose your job in your house. And it's all because somebody calls 911 with a message that's not correct. And to make it worse, the cops don't even say, "We're sorry." What they do is they ramp everything up to see if they can keep you in prison for 4 years or more. Welcome to Wright County, Missouri. We've got a call-in line. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli, and you're going to hear the story about what happened to my neighbors. And when I say my neighbors, I'm not talking about my neighbors on the other side of the state. I'm talking about my neighbors right down the road. Literally, right down the road. Hour number one, Nicole Beninati's with us. Mark Watson is joining us from Indiana. He has a similar story. Silent Night's going to be joining us hour number two. And we're going to be talking about what happened and what to do about it. Nicole Beninati, welcome.
Hi, Vincent. Thank you for having me today.
You're so welcome. You know, I'm just delighted to have neighbors such as you and your husband and your children. I mean, I think it's wonderful. It's, you know, what you were looking for, as far as I could tell, is you were looking for the American dream to move out to the middle of the country, raise your children away from the smog, the fog, the pollution, the hype, the electromagnetic radiation, the traffic, the threats that are all around people who live in the city, and you wanted to move out to the rural setting, Mayberry, if you will, Mayberry RFD.
Right.
And you chose the same location I did, and just 2 roads over. Literally, you live on your 20 acres is on a dirt road. Nicole, you were at the meetup at Jimmy's Egg with us last night, and we had 7 instructors there. Mike Hicks was there. He's our waiter. He's been on the air with us. And Linus Ertley was there. He's our insurance instructor. Gene Lewis is there. He's an author. Joe Acapenti drove 3.5 hours to be with us from Kansas City last night. And then your husband and you and I, 7 of us, 7 instructors. And what was your reaction to the reception that you got as you...
you know what? I was genuinely amazed. I left there and I told my husband, I said, I had the most sincere, warm hugs from people, just genuine compassion. People really, really cared. And I just, you know, in this situation, you really feel alone. So standing in a room full of people that see you and hear you was amazing.
You know, I passed around a notebook to just figure out who is going to be going to the hearing, the court hearing, with Jeremy Beninati as he faces his accusers on these false charges. And there are 17 of us who are going to go to court, and we're going to sit there and we're going to look very carefully at the judge, the prosecutor, and everyone on the other team. We're going to look at them very, very carefully, and we're going to take notes, and we're going to spread the word, and we're going to spread the word of who these people are and why are they doing this. And it will reach far and wide. It has already reached across the globe. There are people in Europe who know this story.
Yep, we've got
story.
From France and all over. I mean, if we pull up our website, we've got it from all across the globe. People are looking at our website, so there's a lot of exposure.
And well, I'll tell you what. Can you very quickly just give us a capsule of the story? Because Joe in Kansas, I believe this is Joe Beninati is calling in. He's another one of our instructors. He's calling in right now. Would you give us a capsule, and then I'd like to hear Joe's reaction to what happened last night. We bought this property. We moved out there. We interfered with the neighbors that want to go hunting. They've let us know that they hunted our property extensively, so that's how they knew it so well. The threats started happening. Actually, it was warnings, then it was threats, then it was police calls, which ended in my husband being arrested, put in jail. He lost his programming job. Then he stayed in jail for 16 days. They put him on house arrest. I had to go back to work and get 2 jobs. We've moved, 3 different times, from hotels to a house to another house. Everything's kind of just escalated from some angry neighbors. Mm-hmm. And Joe Acapente, you've joined us. Welcome, Joe. What did you see? What are your thoughts?
After hearing their story on the air a few weeks ago, I guess last week, I was moved. I was moved to come down. It's a story that's kind of similar to mine. I'm also transplanted to Missouri, to a rural area from California to a rural area in Missouri to start homesteading. And I experienced some similar things, not to the extent that the Beninatis have. But the first, I'd say 18 months, I was on my 80 acres. I spent most of my weekends running hunters off of my property, and that's kind of what the Beninati story stems from. That's where all the problems started, as hunters from a neighboring property who had been hunting their property for years, feeling they had access, and really trying to run them off of their own property because they wanted to continue to hunt, which is always a very tense situation. When you go and confront a hunter on your property, you have 2 armed people there, one that feels he has a right to be there and one feels that they don't. So it gets precarious, and it's not something that you should have to deal with on your own property, let alone have that person call the police on you and the police come and assault and arrest you on your own property. It's absurd. But it's the world we live in today. The police are called, and they don't come to investigate. They don't come to make sure the peace is kept or that justice is served. They come with guns blazing and overwhelming force, and they want to round up all the parties. In this case, the innocent parties, the Beninatis and their family, not the convicted rapist, 2-time rapist, who called the police on them, and which is their neighbor, who I guess, according to Missouri law, from what I hear, is allowed, being a violent convicted felon, allowed to have a firearm and allowed to point that firearm at innocent people, which is what he did to both of the Beninatis and their dog. And so I think it just speaks to where we are as a nation and where law enforcement is these days. And what they are, it seems to me, is jackbooted thugs, not peace officers, not there to protect and serve, but there to enforce law. One of the over 46,000 laws that we have on the books in this nation. So there was a study done about 2 years ago. It says all the quote, law-abiding citizens in this country on a daily basis commit up to 4 felonies without their knowledge. Because really you can't breathe anymore without breaking some sort of statute, law, or anything else. And again, when the police become involved, they're not interested in justice or who's guilty or who's innocent. they're interested in getting you into the system, especially if you're new in the county or new to the area. They want your prints, they want your picture, and they want you in their system. And that's where we're at today. So I was outraged when I heard the story. I decided to come down and get involved. And, justice will be served in this case. I'm very sure of that. As we start to look into some of these characters that are working for the government and trying to railroad this family, there's some very nefarious activity going on, especially with the prosecutor whose mother was a sitting judge. If you look into her, his name is Jason McPherson. If you look into his mother, who was a judge, a county judge, she's got a very nefarious past. And so things are starting to come to light about some of these characters and why they would be protecting a convicted rapist at the expense of robbing a middle-class family of their life, liberty, and property. It's absurd. I think people should be outraged. I think everybody listening today should become involved, even if it's just making phone calls to some of the parties on the other side working for the government to try to strip this family of their dignity, their property, and their liberty. It's gotten way out of hand.
Joe Acapente, I personally want to thank you and publicly thank you for what you have contributed toward righting some wrongs. And class, let me just say this very quickly. You remember the story of Andrew Spencer? He was a cop in Sparta, a little tiny speck of a city near Springfield, Missouri. And he tased one of our instructors, Bob Estep, a 68-year-old farmer. He tased him in his car, wrongfully. And he accused him of being under the influence, and after all the tests, he was found that he was not under the influence. Okay? So Bob Estep was tased, and we called for a boycott of the city of Sparta, and I took some heat for that. It's like, you want to burn the city down because of, one rogue cop? Well, this rogue cop abused other people. And what happened was, as a result, Joe Acapente and about 25 of us from USA Prepares went to an alderman's meeting at the city of Sparta. They wouldn't let us speak. But we were there, and we watched them. And they took note of how many. I mean, they had more people, and they checked us for nail files and whatever else we might have on us. And of course, we were all found not to be carrying anything that was of concern. Well, Joe Acapente streamed that meeting live on the internet. What happened? Ultimately, the rogue cop, Andrew Spencer, tased some more people, executed a dog, got fired. The police chief resigned, and the city is probably going to be a little more like a normal city used to be as a result of all of us watching those thugs. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
makeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
You're fired. According to the Small Business Administration, 75% of small businesses plan to eliminate jobs or reduce workers' hours to part-time. You're fired. According to Gallup, the unemployment rate recently jumped to nearly 9%, and the underemployment rate hit a staggering 17.9%. You're fired. 1 out of 3 young adults and 1 out of 2 recent college graduates are underemployed. Hello, I'm Keith Abel, a pharmacist and a home business entrepreneur. In 2011, I became one of those statistics myself. Instead of looking for another job in corporate America, I joined Dr. Joel Wallet, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. We're creating steady incomes for ourselves and would like to show you how to do the same. If you want to supplement your current income, replace your income, so you don't have to become one of the statistics, then give me a call toll-free at 866-257-3105, 866-257-3105. You're fired. Don't wait till you hear those words. Start creating an extra income today. 866-257-3105.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad. But boy, was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Class, we're talking about the Beninati story. And if you'd like to go to the website, it's Stand and Fight. Standandfight.co. Not com. Standandfight.co. And I'll have a link on the website, page 1, posted during the next commercial break. Joe Alcapenti is with us, USA Preparedness Instructor. Nicole Beninati is with us. So, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the police show up with AR-15 rifles?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And were they pointed at anybody you know?
Well, yes. Actually, they got pointed at our witnesses that showed up that I had called to come get our kids in the beginning. As soon as they pulled up, they turned and pointed those at them. Then they pointed them at my husband. And by the time all this had happened, I had already left the property. So, at the point, I saw the trooper come around the back of the car with his gun, and it looked like a handgun pistol pointed directly at my husband, and he was getting into the crouched down position as I was walking past my husband to go get my kids and leave. And so that is the extent of what I personally seen. But the witnesses were there, and they said as soon as they pulled up, they turned immediately and pointed their guns at them. And then, they pointed them at my husband.
You're saying that the witnesses had guns pointed at them by the cops?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was this the Missouri Highway Patrol and the Wright County Sheriff's Department? Who was this?
I don't know exactly which officers pointed the weapons at them. I believe it was the state troopers, but from what I understand is, they pulled up in their van, they hopped out, and immediately the guns were pointed at them. I don't know if it was the sheriff or the state trooper at that point.
Okay. All right.
And because they actually filed a complaint against them. So,
wait, who filed a complaint? Who filed a complaint?
Our witnesses, Crystal and Dale, called into the police department, into the department, and let them know, some of the actions that they did were, they were threatened after having the guns pointed at them. So they called in and complained.
Okay. Class, you can all see this is escalating. This is Wright County, Missouri, W-R-I-G-H-T County, Missouri. And Joe, you had, during the break, you and I were chatting for a second. We were talking about Andrew Spencer, just slight diversion in Sparta. Andrew Spencer was the cop who tased Bob Estep, our instructor, without cause. How how did we impact that city? How did USA Prepares and the focus that we brought onto them, as well as a bunch of other people joining in the spotlight, shining the spotlight on the city of Sparta? What happened?
Well, after we went to the alderman's meeting and we streamed it live, it got national attention, and the mayor himself started receiving phone calls from across the nation. So he realized that all eyes were on him, and that his police force had become a liability. A few months later, the same police chief basically picked up a family's dog that was out in the middle of the road that somebody had called on, put it in the back of his police car. He was on his way. They don't have a pound in Sparta, and he didn't want to take it to the next county over to drop it off at their shelter. Well, he got a phone call to respond to a traffic collision. So instead of taking it to the department or putting it somewhere safe or keep it in the back of his car, he decided to take it out to the police force's shooting range and shoot the dog. The family had started calling the police department and calling shelters to see if there was any lost dog turned in, and the police department for almost 2 weeks told them, nope, no dog. Well, they decided to press the issue. They were told by one of their neighbors, oh, yeah, we saw a police car come by and pick your dog up. Well, they pressed the issue. The police department ended up having to go dig up the dog, wrapped it in a trash bag, and presented it back to the family. When that story came out, the citizens said, this is enough. Forced the police chief to resign, at which time Andrew Spencer, this kid who has a history of tasing old people, old frail men, because he feels threatened by them, he became police chief. He had 3 more tasing incidents in town within a matter of months. And I guess the mayor finally came to his senses and decided, hey, this police force that we have for, I don't know how many people in Sparta, but it can't be more than 1,000. He decided to disband the entire police department at the behest of the citizens of Sparta. So,
yeah, police department.
We were victorious within a year there.
Yeah, so class, we were successful. We helped Sparta become safe by removing the threat of the blue plague in Sparta. Congratulations, class. Wright County's next. Wright County's next. We'll be right back.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Class, we're talking about the Beninati story, and it's a pretty serious event. The neighbor is a hunter. This is my understanding, that the neighbor is a hunter. He lives about 20 miles away from this 20-acre property, and he called the cops on the Beninati family, and it sounds like he was not happy that the Beninatis were going to occupy the 20 acres that they bought. They actually planned to live on the property that they bought, the 20 acres, and their building of a cabin and moving in disrupted some of the hunters' plans for the use of the surrounding land, including the Beninati's land. They wanted to hunt on the Beninati's land as well as other land, and that's what happens in our neck of the woods. Hunters feel that they have a right to shoot animals on other people's property. Happened to us, happened to Joe Acapenti, and we had to run the hunters off our property. And what we did was we patrolled our property. We literally patrolled our property lawfully with arms. And eventually we stopped these hunters coming down our road with their trucks and their dogs, and we'd ask them, "So what are you guys doing?" And we'd stop everyone and invite them to keep on moving. And they finally realized that we were not going to let them go shooting recklessly on our farm. We would not let them on our farm to kill animals, and while we had other animals and people on our farm, it was not going to happen. We didn't care whether they used to hunt on this land or not. It's ours. And class, that's the point. When you buy property and the locals say, "Yeah, we've hunted this before and we want to keep hunting it," you can just tell them to take a hike. It's your land, okay? So you don't have to always play nice and think that you need to bow down to these guys. You don't have to. And we tried playing nice and it didn't work. The Beninattis tried playing nice and it didn't work. Joe Acapenti tried playing nice and it didn't work. So, so your husband Nicole is facing prison. Tell us about that.
He's got a couple charges of armed criminal action. And that is, if he's convicted of that, that is a mandatory sentence. The first one is a mandatory of 4 years. That's no good time. Work release, anything that you can get that would minimize your time that you would serve. You get that, and he's got 3 charges similar to that. So he's looking at some serious time.
Okay. Now, did he break any laws?
No.
Okay. He did not break any laws, and are you saying that these charges are just trumped up?
Yes, they have to be. I mean, he never exhibited any signs of aggression with his firearm. They told him to put his hands up. He put his hands up. He lifted his shirt and spun in circles. He went and removed, within minutes of them being there, he went and removed his firearm and put it in a safe location and came up and then showed them right away as he was walking up, I'm unarmed, lifting up his shirt, spinning in a circle, letting them know. And so they...
All right. Nicole? Nicole, let me make sure I've got this right. Your husband was on your property, your own property, your property.
Right.
And, class, you've heard me. I started this broadcast. Everyone all set, cocked, locked, and I am. I am on our property right now. And I'm armed. I'm armed right now. Nicole, you saw me. Joe Acapente, you saw me last night. Was I armed?
You were.
Yeah.
And did you see anybody else at the restaurant armed? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I asked for a show of hands of how many people were armed. I did. And so it's your duty to protect your family. It's your duty to be armed. Right. So it's not like you're doing something that is wrong. And I didn't see anybody brandishing any arms last night, and I've never seen anybody brandish arms except maybe the police.
Right. Nicole, I'd like to emphasize the point. Who were the only people in this entire scenario to point guns at other people? It was the neighbor and the police, wasn't it?
It was the police. And I did want to clarify, because my witness just texted me and let me know that the police, every police officer out there that day actually turned their weapons on them. It wasn't 2, it was all of them. So when they pulled up, all of the police officers pointed their guns at them.
And also threatened to take their kids if they didn't get the hell out of there.
Yes, and then to arrest them, that they could be arrested.
So just to reemphasize, the only people in this entire story who ever pointed guns at other people were the police and the neighbor who called the police, who shouldn't have had a gun in the first place because he's a convicted rapist who served 8 years in prison.
Right, right.
That's our justice system, folks. If you haven't figured it out by now, they're not interested in justice. They're interested in getting everybody who's not in the system into the system, into their system, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Let's talk about who's helpful. Tony Duggar, Missouri House of Representatives. He's currently a representative in the Missouri House. I gave out his phone number. His phone number is 573-751-2205. 573-751-2205. He is a Missouri House of Representatives member, Tony Duggar, Dugger. Nicole, did you talk to him?
I did. I got him right away. He was not the least bit interested. He did listen to my story, and then he asked me what I would like him to do for me. And I said, well, I would like you to contact somebody. I said, I don't really know what you can do for me. I said, but you're in a position where, you can reach out to somebody. And he said, that's not my job. That's not my position. He said, so I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can call the district attorney, and I said, I've tried that. He's like, well, I really don't know then. And he left it at that.
Okay. I've seen Tony Duggar at the Hartville courthouse and when he was an employee there. And you know what? I've seen him for about 8 years, maybe 9. he could have helped you. I believe he has all the connections necessary to help you. Okay. From my perspective, I don't think Tony Duggar is somebody that I would want in the Missouri House of Representatives. That's my position. I don't want him there. Okay? He's the same guy that I called his office and asked for 100 copies of the Missouri State Constitution so we could give them out during a class where we taught the Constitution at the Get Prepared Expo. And his office called me and said, "Do you know how much the shipping costs on these?" And I said, "Yeah, actually I do. Do you want me to pay for it?" And they said, No. It's like $35. And they didn't print the books. We paid for the printing of the books, the Missouri Constitution, but they were kind of upset that we actually wanted to read them and give them out and teach a class on it. That's Tony Duggar's office. Okay, so who else? What about Jason McPherson? He's the Wright County prosecutor. Shall we give out his number? Joe, do you have his number?
I do. Jason McPherson is Wright County prosecutor. His number is 417-741-6166. That's 417-741-6166.
Okay, Jason McPherson. Now, I guess the plan, class, if you'd like, you are all authorized by me to make calls and find out if you can find out any information and report back to us on the air what you found out. You are authorized to be investigative reporters for USA Prepares. Now, there's some rules. The rules are you will behave as ladies and gentlemen. That's understood. I don't have to tell you that. But I just want to make sure that the other team understands that we will behave as ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to threaten anybody. We're not going to yell and scream. We are investigative reporters for USA Prepares. Okay, and we will report this worldwide, AM, FM, satellite, YouTube, telephone listen line, podcasts, download, every way that it's possible to listen to a broadcast we have here at USA Prepares. Sure,
I would
please
like
do.
to recommend that people also go to our website and submit your responses to these people so we can get public at how they conduct themselves, what their answers are. So if you get a response from them, pass it over and we'll publish it on our website so people can see.
We're talking about names, addresses, phone numbers, pictures. We want to make sure that everyone involved gets all the credit that he or she deserves. All the credit. Okay? So, class, you're authorized to make phone calls, behave as ladies and gentlemen, no threatening. And by the way, there are provocateurs, and we don't want anyone associated with us being a provocateur. We are not going to do anything we are not going to fire any shots, but we will defend ourselves. And keep that in mind. We are not going to start shooting. Let me say it a different way. We are not going to start shooting. But if someone starts shooting at us, we will defend ourselves. And we have every right to do so. All right, so we have Jason McPherson, Wright County prosecutor. I heard the number 417-741-6166. Okay, Tony Duggar's phone number in the Missouri House of Representatives, 573-751-2205. Okay, let's burn up the phone lines. Okay, class, let's burn up the phone lines. Let's call these people. Is there anyone else? How about the sheriff? What did you learn from the sheriff, Nicole? His name is Sheriff Glenn Adler, Adler.
I have not been able to talk to him. There's some people that I'm not allowed to be in contact with, and I'm told to go through my attorney. Okay,
well, I have his number. I have it memorized. 417-741-7576. 417-741-7576. That's Sheriff Glenn Adler, Adler. And so what's going on? And if you'd like to call him and ask him and report back to us on the air, that would be great. This is information that needs to get out, because I don't believe that the Nicole and Jeremy Beninati story is an isolated case. That's what happens when someone calls someone calls 911 on you. And Steve Angle will tell you he was beat up. They said the cops showed up at his house, and he lives in Kansas. Cops said, we got a 911 call. We have to check it out. And he said, we didn't call. So what they do, they beat him up right in his front door. They beat him up. put him in the hospital. Then they put him in jail. And he's facing prison time for answering the door. And the cops can't even prove that someone called 911. This is going on all over the country, class, and you may be next. 17 of us are going to court, and we're going to sit right in the courtroom and watch this. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Class, we're talking about the Beninati story, and Mark in Indiana's with us. Mark, you've been patiently waiting. Thank you so much. Your story is similar. We've got about 4 minutes. Can you share that with us?
Okay. Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Mark, and I'm here in Indiana, and this happened to us back in 1980. No guns was pointed at us, but they came in and said, well, this is the 20th century. People don't live like this. And all we done, I bought 14 acres, and 10 of it was woods, and, 4 of it was around an old house and a barn. And, I thought, wow, man, this old house, I can redo it. And so we were going to take up residency in this old barn. That's what we did. And it had a cement floor, so I thought, And I had a low ceiling. And so we went ahead and come up with some big cardboard and some foam rubber, and that's how I insulated the walls and put plastic around the outside to keep the wind and stuff down. And I had 2 wood stoves, so, when there's no insulation, it would get cold if stoves went out, but yeah, we kept them running real good. And here they come, saying you can't live like this. And so they gave us a hard time. And then somebody let the radio station, one of the radio stations, know about it. And then so they started talking about it. Next thing you know, they were calling the courthouse. They just literally, so swamp them with phone calls, people. Let them know, call them. Don't stop. Don't just do this 1 or 2 days. Do it over a week or so, because after a while, they finally left us alone. We even was on channel 21 ABC. They came out and videoed us, kind of seeing how we lived and all that, and after that was done, and then finally, they just literally left us alone. And, so it worked, but yet, things do happen.
Mark, when you said they came, did the cops come? Is that what happened? They came to investigate you?
Yes, they came, knocked on the door. Yes, they were right there. They literally came in. They came in the barn and all. They even went up the ladder. I had a ladder over to the side where we could go upstairs, because through the summertime, when, because see, we bought the place in July. And so in the summertime, we had our beds and all upstairs. But when it got cold, wintertime, then we moved downstairs and just, slept and occupied the downstairs. And so, I had a well,
Mark,
had water.
Mark, let me see if I understand. So you were doing the best you could with what you had. You were providing for your family, and the cops showed up, and they said, people don't live like this. This is the 20th century. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so the news, the media got involved. The police got swarmed with phone calls, and then they just stopped. They left you alone.
Eventually, they left us. You got to remember, this is before the internet, So people just started calling them. Calling the courthouse, literally call them. Get on that phone, people. Help these people out, I believe every word that I've been hearing, because I'm sitting here shaking my, yep, I understand that. So.
And this happened to you in Indiana.
Bear with it. Let time take its place. And come on, people. Give them a call. Help these people out, I don't know what else to say other than what I've already have. So just bear with them and call that sheriff. Yeah, call that sheriff. Call
There you
call
go.
everybody. Give the phone numbers out and everybody start calling them.
Okay, and Nicole, you've got a website, and the website is called standandfight.co. Standandfight.co. And are the names and numbers on there?
There are, all of them.
There you go. Names and numbers are right there. I'll do the link right at the top of the hour. Mark, thank you so much for being with us. Joe in Kansas, you're welcome. You're welcome to stay if you have time. Joe's a USA Prepare instructor. Joe Acapente. Nicole's going to stay with us. I'm Vin Finelli. We'll be right back after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. Silent Night should be joining us. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
I love it when a plan comes together. I really do. And here we are, usaprepares.com. We are engaged in defending one of our own, the Beninati family. And Nicole Beninati's with us, and she and her husband, Jeremy, have been beat up by the system. The sheriff's office, the highway patrol, as we understand it, have leveled their rifles at them, literally. And we have witnesses. So we are going to court, and we are going to stand with the Beninati family. There are 17 of us so far who have signed up to go to court. And I've authorized our class, our worldwide broadcast classroom, to join in with us and make phone calls and ask the questions of the State House of Representatives member, Tony Duggar. Why isn't he helping? Jason McPherson, the Wright County, Missouri prosecutor. What's going on with him? The sheriff, what's this all about? Are you kidding? You're taking aim at the wrong people. So someone calls 911 and then you level your guns and you call in for backup. Really? Is that what this is all about? And so we want to know, and we're outraged, and we're angry, and we're not going to let this stand. So with us is Nicole Beninati and Joe Acapenti from Kansas City, and Silent Night. Welcome, Silent Night.
Greetings and salutations.
You've been traveling and hundreds of miles and to help people, and I'm so glad you're able to be here and join in this. So, Silent Night, we'll get a quick recap from Nicole, and then Joe Acapenti said something very interesting during the break. Class, you're not going to believe this. This is probably what you would expect from USA Prepares, but you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. So, Nicole, very quickly, your story recap for the second hour.
Okay. We moved into our 20 acres. We had neighbors to the right of us that owned it, their property for hunting. We started getting warnings from them. The warnings escalated into police calls. The police calls ended into a standoff where the police pointed their weapons at our family, our witnesses. My husband was arrested, put in jail, lost his job, was put on house arrest with an ankle bracelet, and now he's facing prison time.
Okay.
And just to recap, also, Nicole, prior to this, when you had first moved in, this gentleman would, on a weekly basis, correct me if I'm wrong, wait till your husband was at work and then come over to you and start basically trying to tell you things to kind of run you off, that the property was right in the middle of Tornado Alley, that if you wanted your kids to be safe while they played outside, you better have them in Hunter's Orange because it was hunting season or they would be shot. They had called the police on you and made a false report that you had dumped a bunch of tires on his property. So prior to this, he was basically trying to run you off, correct?
Right. It was almost a weekly thing. They would come out. And he was never alone. He always had his friends. At one point, there was probably 10 or 15 of them standing in the middle of the road in front of my children who were standing just in a circle around me saying, there's a mountain lion in the area. We caught him on our video camera. We'll bring him over. We'll bring those over to show you. My kids wouldn't step 5 feet away from our cabin at that point. And every paw mark they saw, it's the mountain lion. No, it's not. So it was just a weekly thing of, and it got suspicious when it was never when my husband was home. Only when I'm there, and the kids are around did he have useful information for me.
And then this kind of came to a front as your husband was walking your new 4-month-old puppy down the dirt road that kind of connects the two properties. At which point the dog, the puppy, proceeded to run a few feet within this man's property line, which ended up with this gentleman and his uncle or nephew, I forgot which was, pointing a firearm, who, again, I want to emphasize, the party that we're talking about is a convicted rapist who spent 8 years in prison and also failed to register as a sex offender in the state of Missouri. I want to ask the question, what violent felon calls the police? Usually those people stay as far away from law enforcement as possible. They want no interaction, especially if they fail to register. That's what really kind of set off the alarm for me that there was something very, very fishy going on here, and we're going to get to the bottom of that. What I would like to say is right now I'd like to extend an offer because I know there's been many offers extended to you by the Wright County prosecutor, Jason McPherson, which completely would strip you of your rights. You've already been stripped of your property and your right to be in Wright County. You can't even step foot on your own property. So I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead.
We've also been stripped of our, we've lost our Second Amendment and our Fourth Amendment at this point. We are not allowed to have firearms, and so we've been stripped of a lot more.
And you've also, I believe, been threatened or intimidated by the police on a few occasions. You've been cornered, you said, in town or whatnot. So, at this point, what I'm going to do, since they seem to want you to plea this out and are extending you offers, I'm going to go ahead and extend an offer to Jason McPherson, the Wright County prosecutor, and Glenn Adler, the Wright County sheriff. You drop this malicious prosecution immediately, and when I say immediately, I mean get your bureaucratic paperwork in order, get your act together, and drop this case by Friday, and we'll let you keep your jobs for now. If you don't, we're going to go ahead and proceed with our investigation into violation of procedure and misconduct on the part of the Wright County Sheriff and his deputies, the violation of the Benenati civil rights, their Second Amendment and their Fourth Amendment rights, entering their property without a warrant, destruction of their property when you proceeded to tear down their security cameras that they have mounted around their property. We're also going to investigate the deplorable jail conditions within the Wright County Jail. What your husband had to go through in the 18 days that he was incarcerated, no man should have to go through, especially an innocent man. So, we're going to get to the bottom of why they seem to be protecting a violent convicted felon who had no problem calling the sheriff's department, almost as if he knew they'd take his side. After he had pointed a gun at you, your dog, and your husband. There's something that just doesn't sit right here. And so, like I said, I'd like to extend the offer to the Wright County Prosecutor, Jason McPherson, and the Wright County Sheriff, Glenn Adler. This is to be dropped by Friday, but we will proceed with our investigations and our investigation into you, Mr. McPherson, for malicious prosecution. You know what the consequences of that are. So you being an attorney, you being licensed by the bar, and you know the consequences of that. So that's the offer that's on the table, and we'll await your answer. Hopefully we hear from you by Friday. If not, you can be sure that you'll hear from us.
Joe, I've I've seen you in action. I've seen USA Prepares in action, and USA Prepares is not, it's an organization. It's a loose organization. We're not known for backing down, and we're also not known for losing. We're involved in a city ordinance in Florida. In Orlando, Florida, a family was being fined $500 a day for growing a garden in their yard in Orlando, Florida. We got involved, and the calls started coming in from our broadcast to City Hall. Do you know, by that afternoon, they called me and they said, okay, just stop. The fine is been set aside. There's no fine. And we are rewriting the ordinance so people can grow food in their yards. Now, that's a big city compared to Wright County. But what I'm saying is we haven't lost any of these engagements that we have been in, including Sparta, Missouri, where the police department has been disbanded. We just kept talking about it, and it's not just us. It's all the other people who join in because of the outrage. So my understanding is, Nicole, you're talking about you're concerned about the jail conditions, and you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. When I had talked to the commissioner about it, and I went in there and I said, I understand that, some of these people did commit, crime, and they will get, whatever they're going to get from that when they're prosecuted. But you don't get to treat people the way that they're treating people. He said, we do have a nurse in there. Well, the inmates in there say they don't see the nurse. While my husband was in there, men were beating each other up so badly to the point that they felt bad for the person that they were beating up and put him by the sheriff's door and said, you need to come get this man. Threatening them because there's no cameras. I personally went into the sheriff's department and said, I have cameras. I'll give them to you. Oh, well, they'll just rip them down. Could you imagine walking into a Springfield police department and there not being cameras in the jail cells, and then them saying, well, they'll just rip them down? Or a prison? That wouldn't slide. So how it slides in this small community, I don't know. They still have guidelines and rules that they have to follow. And they told me, I said, well, then put metal up around them, put plastic up around them, screw them to the roof. They'll just rip them down. And I said, well, you can't allow inmates to beat each other, and you can't beat inmates with realizing that there's no cameras in the system. And then they shut down and stopped talking to me. So the food was terrible. And not that anybody's expecting the jail's food to be, gourmet by any means, but it does need to be sanitary. It does need to be warm. It does need to, people need to not lose 30 pounds, with a week's worth of a visit. And that may be a little exaggerant. I think it was 3 weeks one man lost 30 pounds. those things cannot happen. They have laws in place. They have regulations that they have to follow. So, and they've been investigated. They've had the juries come through, walk through, and say this isn't okay. This doesn't meet up to standard, and nothing's done.
It also, I heard a story that your husband told. He was in a cell that was connected to the drunk tank, and the prisoners had bored a hole through that wall so that they could see into that next cell, which was the drunk tank. The officers knew this. The guards knew this. They proceeded to throw a woman in the drunk tank, have her stripped down and change into an orange jumpsuit, while the men in the next cell could all peer through and see. So that's what's happening in your jails, folks. And it's not all just convicted felons in there and violent criminals in there. It's innocent men like Jeremy Beninati. So
We'll be right back. And Silent Night, your turn to weigh in. I'm Vin Finelli. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is Rick Ossick, president of Famous Footwear. Our company is working together with the March of Dimes through March for Babies to raise money and awareness about the serious problem of premature birth in the U.S. As a business leader, I know that babies born very sick or too soon cost businesses billions of dollars each year, in addition to the emotional stress on employees and their families. That's why Famous Footwear is committed to raising funds to improve the health of moms and babies everywhere. Won't you please join us in the March for Babies? Start a team today at marchforbabies.org.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Serious investors and traders want to make 81% return in 60 seconds? Use the same secret algorithm professional hedge fund managers use to make billions of dollars of profits. Turn $250 into $4,903 in just 7 clicks of a mouse. Our tool is so simple that my 82-year-old grandmother can use it to make insane stock market profits. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. Watch the free video before the hedge funds make us take it down. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. From the Robert Allen System, current returns not indicative of future results.
Class, we're talking about what happens when 911 is called. This is not theater. This is really what happened to the Beninati family. And Silent Night is with us. Silent Night has written a book called The Underground Railroad Returns to Disappear. And you cannot buy this book on Amazon. You cannot buy this book anywhere except through Silent Night and us. And if you want, I have autographed copies of how the system works, the Underground Railroad. You may need it. And the Beninatis have a copy, and if you want one, it's $15. Shipping is included. And just contact me at usaprepares.com, send me an email, and put Underground Railroad in the subject line, and you just send us $15, and we will send you a copy of the book immediately. Silent Night, what's your thoughts?
Okay, the first thing I need to say is, Jeremy and Nicole, you need to get your children away from that ankle bracelet, have them in somebody else's house, because one of their tactics is to come in after a situation like this has come upon you, and they bring in the socialists that come and kidnap your children. And so you need them away from that ankle bracelet, because if they can trace that ankle bracelet, they can also find out where those children are. And we need to protect those children from the socialists so they don't come and take them away.
Well, he's not on the ankle bracelet anymore. They let him off of that. But they dropped the case with the Child Protective Services. Dropped the case. Is that still something that I need to be worried about?
Actually, I think you did very well. I don't think you have to be concerned about that anymore.
Okay.
But that's good.
Okay.
And another thing is, and Vincent's mentioned this many times, when somebody comes to your door, don't answer the door. Answer through a window.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I definitely start doing that.
Good.
And when you hear, mind if we come in? Really? If you open the door, they are already coming in, okay?
Right.
And maybe you don't even have to answer the door. And that's our plan. We don't want to answer the door, because I can't imagine anything good happening when the sheriff comes to my property. As a matter of fact, I put him on notice that do not trespass. Do not trespass on our farm. And I'm talking about the same sheriff. I called him up. I called Sheriff Glenn Adler up because one of his deputies was cruising around our farm 11:30 one night on a Friday night. And they lied to us, and we want to know what they're doing here. And the dispatcher lied and said, no, it wasn't us. Well, we called the state police, and the state police said, yeah, it was them. So that's the kind of operation we're running. And I talked to the sheriff, and I said, don't come on my property. He said, well, some people want us to. And I said, not me. Not me. Don't come on our property. We don't need their help.
Right.
Imagine if they had an MRAP. Imagine if they had an armored vehicle, a weapon of war. Imagine if they showed up with that. And I have a feeling that in other counties, had they been called, they would have showed up with their MRAP and their machine guns and turret and sniper rifles and all that, just to keep everybody safe, right? Reminds me of Joey Kyle.
Yeah, there's something
Where
else.
is old Joey Kyle these days?
Well, I don't know, because I understand that he had pled guilty to crimes.
Last I heard, he was serving a year and 4 months in federal prison for stealing from his own county.
A year and 1 day was what I had heard and made the television news. Right, stealing from his own county. And we had him come to the USA Prepares meetup, not as an instructor. He is not an instructor, and he never has been. But he was a member of the CSPOA, Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. So here's what happens. Just because someone says something, and pledges to help you, doesn't mean they mean it. Doesn't mean it. And one of our other instructors, he called me and he said, how'd you know about Joey Kyle? And I said, well, I knew. And he said, Vinny, when any sheriff who has been in office more than one term is a gun runner. What that means is they steal weapons. By the way, Nicole, where's your husband's firearm? Has it been taken? Has it been taken? And if so, do you plan on getting it back? What they do is the sheriffs sell these things and keep the money for their operations. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Nicole, so does the sheriff's office have your husband's handgun? I'm sorry?
Yes, they do have his handgun.
Okay, and so they took that. Did they take anything else from you?
No, we did have to get rid of everything, though. All of our firearms, because, for one, I had to get money to bail him out of jail, but they are not allowing us to have weapons of any kind right now.
Okay, well, we need to fix that. And so they forced. My understanding is you were given an offer. Your husband was in jail, unable to earn money, and to pay for the support of your family, the six children and you and him. So he lost his job, and you were working two jobs trying to raise six children simultaneously, which is just raising six children is quite an undertaking. It really is, and my hat's off to you for many reasons. One, standing by your husband and not saying, you know what, Jeremy, listen, there's a problem. The children and I are out of here. I mean, you're standing by your husband, and I congratulate you for that, because it's kind of rare. Okay, but you're trying to do that, and so you're working two jobs, and you were provided an offer. Either he stays in jail, or what?
Or we leave Wright County. We stay within 20 miles. When I say we, he stays within 20 miles of our property, and he's on house arrest and an ankle bracelet, and he has to report weekly to a probation officer.
And did they charge you for the ankle bracelet?
Yes. It was, we were paying about, I want to say $180 every 2 weeks.
$180 every 2 weeks.
Right.
For the privilege of being tracked.
Right.
For not committing a crime.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This is the system. This is what they do. They bleed you dry. They try their best to bankrupt you, to cause you to lose everything.
And that's with no evidence. That's with all the gun being fully loaded, the investigators that went out and investigated the property for bullet holes and any kind of shooting. There was none of that. And they were able to do all of this with no video recording, no evidence. And we have 3 witnesses that are saying this didn't happen. And they were still able to do this.
Mm-hmm. Class, usaprepares.com, page number 1. There's a link to the Benenati's website, standandfight.co. And your favorite government officials are listed there with their contact information, their name, their title, their telephone number, their email address. I'm talking about Tony Duggar, Missouri House of Representatives, Jay Nixon, Missouri Governor, his phone number, Zach Williams, Presiding Commissioner of Wright County, Missouri, Randy, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Pemberin, Eastern District Commissioner, Mike Sherman. I know Mike Sherman. Mike Sherman's the guy that told me, he's a county commissioner in Wright County. He told me, we don't like you people from California. That's Mike Sherman. He's the county commissioner. Jason McPherson. He's the Wright County prosecutor. And Sheriff Glenn B. Adler, Sheriff of Wright County, Missouri. All their phone numbers, contact information, titles, right there on the website, usaprepares.com. Now, I copied that, and I hope I have your permission to do that, Nicole, because I copied that from your website and posted that and the link to your website from USA Prepares. Okay. And I'm going to post the audio from YouTube and the links from the podcasts. Class, please share this information. It's coming to a neighborhood near you. And remember what happened to the Jews in Germany. Remember, they were, for their own safety, they were rounded up, and it was 7 blocks away, and it's okay. Because only, it's 7 blocks away. It's not on our street. 6 blocks, 5 blocks, 4 blocks. Then it was on our street. and there was nobody to help. Well, USA Prepares is working in unison. Our instructors are joining in, and we're not going to let this happen to one of our instructors, or two of our instructors, Nicole Beninati and Jeremy. Okay, Silent Night, any thoughts?
Yes, I get occasionally calls from folks and so forth, and one particular lady, she said that there's a 42% chance that you will be killed by a police officer than by a terrorist. That's 42%, almost half of the chance you get killed by a police officer. That does not count rape. That does not count tasing, beating, molesting, kidnapping of children. That's just the police terrorists killing American citizens.
Yeah, we have a post on our website about a couple cops, and they forced a woman to perform sex on them in the back of a police car. So at the muzzle of a gun, a woman has to perform sex because she was pulled over by these thugs. Yeah, it's on our website, usaprepares.com.
You know, Vince, we're starting to, before these things were covered up, before the internet, you didn't hear about these things on your local controlled media or your nightly news story. So we were under the impression that these things were sporadic. And now we're finding out that they're not sporadic, they're systematic. From top to bottom, from the highest offices of government down to your local podunk town police force. I'd also like to speak, not to digress too much, but going back to Sparta and going back to the comment you made before the break about sheriffs being gun runners. And that might strike some people and be shocking for them to hear that. But we spoke in the first hour about Sparta, Missouri, and us in USA Prepares being integral in having that police department disbanded. Well, there was a news story that came out, and I heard it up there in Kansas City on our local news, that just last week, that abandoned police department was broken into in Sparta, Missouri. All their body armor, all their pistols and weapons, and all their ammunition was stolen. I wonder who had the chutzpah and the know to get into that building and steal all those things. And in a town of, like I said, about 1,000 people. You know, and it speaks to why would they need all that military equipment? Body armor, AR-15s, 30 high-capacity magazines, all this stuff for a town of 1,000 people? Seems like overkill to me.
1,700 people live in the town, in the city. 1,700. And they issue about 170 tickets per month. And I was talking to a nurse at the hospital, and she said it used to be wonderful. The police would come out and they'd come to the high school ball games where, one high school was competing against another, and they would cheer. And the students were, they respected the police. The police worked with the village. And it was a great arrangement. It was protect and serve. It was not law enforcement. It was protect and serve. And it was a great village. And then when these thugs, the Sparta regime changed and they put these thugs in that were ticketing everybody they could for revenue, the village changed. The village changed. The cops would disrupt, students hanging out after school. You know how students would get together and then they'd drive to a location, they'd have fun, and the cops made sure they didn't do that anymore. So there's no place to go, and the cops destroyed the village, and the people there hate it. They hate their own village because of what the cops have done. And we're not going to allow that to happen in Wright County. We're not going to allow the police, the sheriff's office, and anyone else to run off good people from our village. We're not going to allow that. I'm angry. I'm really angry. And I'm really delighted to see USA Prepares, who we really are. This is who we are. We're not talk show hosts. We are villagers who are standing together, but we're a very small percentage of America. Very small percentage. I think maybe 0.1%. These are the people who are willing to stand up, who have backbone. And there was a pledge last night. Everyone there at the meetup was willing to stand for everyone else at the meetup. Imagine that. How about those attorneys who'll say, you know what, look, I just want to go along to get along. What kind of an attorney would you hire to do that? to get along. You want someone who's a pit bull. You want someone who's a lion. You want someone who is going to really take your side. That's what we want. And by the way, that's who we are here at USA Prepares. We're just a loose organization of people who think the same way, who are going to stand and help each other without having our hand out. We had an attorney come to one of our meetups and he said, I'll help you, but I cost a lot of money. Yeah. He's a really good attorney, but he costs a lot of money. So if you're in trouble and you have a lot of money, you can call him. But if you don't have a lot of money, he's not going to help you. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. Silent Night? Okay, Joe?
I'd like to say, too, just preface, I said earlier that the Beninati story of mine, us coming from the same state of California, moving here to the Midwest, runs parallel in a lot of ways. And I don't want anybody thinking about moving or homesteading in the Midwest or a rural area. Most of the people I've encountered in these areas are truly the salt of the earth people. And it's one of the main reasons I moved to this part of the country. They seem to be much more aware, have the skill sets that I was looking to learn from and draw from, and they're really, really good people who will stick up for their neighbors. Mm-hmm. But just like everywhere else, whether you're an urbanite or a suburbanite or a rural area, you've got your bad apples and your bad seeds. And it just seems to be these days that the police in these rural areas, and I think it ties in a lot to UN Agenda 21. People can Google that term. That's a whole other show, where they're trying to force good people off of their land and force them into the cities. This is what happened pre-World War II, where they forced people off the land and into the ghettos and into the cities, so they could wage war out there and they could scoop up the resources and protect. It sounds to me like protect whatever's going on that neighboring property. But most of the people here are very salt of the earth people, and it's a great place to live.
I totally agree, and that's why I live here. And what happened? Our villagers. I got a call from a villager saying, Vinny, you need to hear this story. And we jumped right on it to protect our own. And class, I hope that you do the same thing in your village, because this is happening across the country. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Are you tired of the cold this winter? Are you prepared for the next blizzard or snowstorm? What will you do when the power and heat go off? That could be our future. Fortress Clothing's Bug Out Bag with our head-to-toe solution is your one-step answer to survival in the cold. It doesn't expire, it doesn't go bad, it's lightweight and mobile, and it doesn't just sit on the shelf waiting for an emergency. You can use Fortress today. Be warm and comfortable if you or your family work in the cold. Be warm and comfortable while you play, Hunt, fish, camp, ski, paraglide, go sledding with the family, or just shovel the walks. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com is the answer. Your emergency preparedness solution to the cold. Your solution to working or playing in the cold. Visit us at FortressClothing.com and enter RADIO. Buy now and receive your 20% off discount. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com. It could save your life one day.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class, I'm really proud of the USA Prepares Meetup Group. I have in my hands 17 names who and phone numbers and contact information of those who are coming to the court date May 5th at 1:30 in Wright County, Missouri. Nicole, can you please tell us what's going to happen?
I'm not totally sure what's going to happen that day. From what I understand so far, it's just to decide if we'll take their plea offer or we will take it to trial.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to the acceptance of Joe Acapenti's offer to drop all these charges and we'll all go home. But you know what? Your husband still lost his job. There has been no apology for him being roughed up, right? There's been no apology for the Wright County Sheriff's Office and the Highway Patrol aiming their weapons, their rifles, at your husband and the witnesses. Since when do we aim rifles at witnesses? Geez. There's a story on the internet about a woman shoplifter in Florida, slammed to the ground, left in a pool of blood, gaping head wound. She was a shoplifter. Now, I'm not saying that shoplifting is the right thing to do. It's absolutely not. But does the punishment fit the offense? Do you literally beat the tar out of someone for shoplifting? Do you really do that? The whole point, class, is this tiny woman was beat up by this uniformed cop. How about if we don't beat up people? How about if we're going to try them, we bring them to the court and let a jury of our peers decide? But literally beating up people, a tiny woman, come on. This is the kind of stuff that's going on all across the country. It needs to be stopped. Okay. And your husband was roughed up, yes?
Yes. Yes, he was. The first time they had come out, they had slammed him to the ground when he was unarmed and handcuffed him and put him across the street. while they chatted with the neighbor. Then my husband said, he's a felon and he has a firearm. And so they put my husband in the back of the police car so he couldn't talk anymore. And then the second time they came out and they finally arrested him, they slammed him to the ground while they were telling him, you're not under arrest. So, yeah, that was...
I have a neighbor who lived up the road from us. They ran her out of the state, literally. They arrested her, and she was told that she would be put back in jail if she didn't leave the state. Literally. And this is how far from, right on the same road we live on. So you guys are not the first one who have been roughed up by the police, the sheriff's office. And she said the same things about the jail. She said the same kinds of things about the jail, how bad it was.
Yeah.
And it seems like the more money or wherewithal you have, the more they want to take from you. It's unacceptable. We need a new sheriff. We need to clean house. We need to clean house. And where did Tony Duggar get his start? State representative? Right there in the courthouse in Charlotte. I'm sorry, not Charlotte, in Hartville. Hartville, right. Missouri. Silent Night, what do you think we ought to do?
Well, for one thing, finances get real scarce when something like this goes on, and I would recommend that if anybody can afford $5, which is just about all of us, that we send $5 in to help these folks out, because it's surprising how expensive everything is when you're not at home. And another thing is, we ought to demand the IQ of every officer in our county and our police department.
Demand the what?
IQ test.
IQ test. Yeah, and I guess maybe we should publish their home addresses as well, so that we know where the safe neighborhoods are, where they live, right? Silent Night, thank you so much for being with us. USAPrepares.com instructor. Joe Acapenti, thank you so much for being with us. Nicole, it goes without saying, you're a hero to me. Nicole Beninati and Jeremy Beninati. The story will continue. We're not going away. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better.